Welcome back to Stellar Blade. Just wanted to give a little bit of a personal, highly not technical or highly irrelevant review of the game. My review, what I think of the game, which, just doesn't matter to anybody but me. But I'm going to say it anyway, because what the hell. I tried to get out of here, but I can't. The end game is you're basically at the last boss fight. So we can't, once the game's over, you can't go anywhere else, which we'll get to that in a minute. This, I don't even know how to describe this game. It's a very cool game, and it's a very good action adventure game. And I just wanted to kind of hit on the positives that I like, the things I liked about this game. The world is beautiful. I mean, these guys, they did an awesome job with this. I mean, just look at this area. It's very cool. And from what I understand, which I've said in the past, Shift Up, they're used to doing mobile games, basically. I mean, this is the first, AAA, AA game. I don't know how they decide what's a AAA and what's a AA game. I would call this a AAA game. This is their first AAA game ever. And I'll tell you what, I hope they're around for a long time doing more stuff, because this is pretty awesome. I mean, this game was awesome. The combat in this game, the open world, the combat in this game, I thought the combat was great with a few exceptions. There was just this here drove me nuts, which there's probably people that where are we at? Manual. Let's go to manual. Combo attacks. All of these combo attacks. I mean, it's like, come on. Who memorizes? Who remembers all of this stuff? Look at all of this. How are you supposed to remember this? I was just hitting buttons. Hopefully I'd hit something that worked. Because square and triangle, you were going to hit something at some point. And those were the main ones to hit. But that's insane. I mean, I think my problem, because this is my problem. This is not a game problem. This is my problem. I can't remember all this stuff. I think my problem is, and I approach the game, because I never played it before. If I play it again, I'll approach it a little bit differently. But you need to approach this game, I believe. You need to come in here and just pick a couple of combos that you want to use and just use those all the time. Just use those combos. You cannot possibly, I don't know who can possibly remember all of these combo attacks. Same thing in the skills. I mean, you've got your beta skills, you've got all of these combo attacks. These are a little easy to remember because you don't have so many of them. You got like this is your combo attack here. And then you got a little bit extra over here if you're thinking about it. This is your combo attack, this is your combo attack, that's your combo attack. That's not hard to remember. Same thing with burst, Now tacky, I really wasn't sure about how tacky worked. There was there was somewhat combo attacks on this. I didn't quite get tacky down. You get that too late in the game for me to figure all that out. Survival, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at any of this stuff. Dodging and parrying, I'm not good at this. When I played Mad Max, I learned parrying, but Mad Max parrying system was a little bit different than this. It was a lot slower. But anyway, that's just all those combos. I can't remember that. It's just that was not a negative in the game. That was something that I just couldn't handle. I couldn't do that. And I know there's people that they can do that stuff. I mean, if you play Souls games, there's all kinds of combos and stuff that you can learn and memorize. And unlike Souls games, which I'm grateful, Souls games, they take all your stuff. Well, your currency, whatever the currency is in the game, when you die, you lose everything. Whatever you have, you lose it, and you got to go back and get it. Find the guy that took it from you, and you got to go. And I'm grateful for that in this game, because that's why I sucked at. The only Souls game I played was Bloodborne, and man, I was terrible at that. I have a few recordings of me trying to take down the one guy, Gascoigne. Oh my God, that was a brutal mess. But anyway, that is not a negative in the game. That's just something that in the future, if I play this game again, I'm not sure. I mean, I might try the New Game Plus, but New Game Plus is probably going to ramp it up again. And I noticed in New Game Plus, they have a boss battle where you can just go fight the bosses. Which, see, people love that. I mean, Borderlands people. I mean, I love Borderlands. Borderlands is my favorite franchise, hands down. And there's some of it that I don't like. You know, I'm not crazy about the pre-sequel. And Borderlands 3 was kind of, it was a kind of hit or miss. Tiny Tina's, I only played that. I played a demo of that for a couple hours and wasn't happy about that. But still, Borderlands 2 has raid bosses. Borderlands 3, I think, has raid bosses, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I don't do any of that stuff anyway. People love that. They love to go back and farm, farm the boss for like the best weapon. This weapon that you can get from this boss. So I'm happy that they don't do that. That they don't, you could do the boss battle, but that's like, I think that's after you finish the game. There's two things in the game. New Game Plus and then the boss battle. And then New Game Plus adds a hard mode, which is like, holy crap, I can't even do this. I'm playing this on story mode. I played this whole thing, pretty much this whole game, on story mode. I started off on normal. Now they have hard mode. But I started off on normal and I was just getting my ass kicked. So I put it in story mode and I still got my ass kicked. So there's that. Another thing that was really awesome in this game, which I wish we could have got out of here. I would like to discuss some of this stuff on the outside world. I mean, I could have went back to Edo 7, but then that was like in the beginning of the game. That was like the first hour of the game. So it'd be kind of hard to talk about that while I'm getting my ass kicked. Is the enemy design. The enemy design is just phenomenal. The enemy design is phenomenal. All of these things. I mean, the artwork, the design, I think it was just awesome. I mean, they did just a great job with all of these creatures. It was just cool as hell. I mean, like I said, they kicked my ass, but still. I mean, varied enemies. There were some that were similar. There were similar enemies, but they were varied enough that it made the game fun. I mean, and it was fun. And I mean, as much as I complained about it, it was a lot of fun. I missed one Elite Natiba. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to look it up. That's the only enemy. I don't know how I missed it. I did so many. I mean, I did pretty much all of the side quests. I'm pretty sure I did. I didn't discover everything. I could have wandered around the desert. There was a lot to do in the desert because I did not get. Where are we at? Databank. Documents. I did not get all the prayer books. They're down here somewhere. I missed 3 of them. And I'm assuming they're in the desert. There's 3 prayer books in the desert. And I did not get all of the cans. Those could be anywhere. I mean, so there is some exploration I did not do. And I felt that continuing that and recording, I mean, it would have just got boring for people to watch. I was trying to create some content, So I didn't really want to create boring content. I mean, just me wandering. I could wander around an open world like that forever. I could. I'm just looking for stuff because there's all kinds of stuff to find. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. The desert, especially, that was huge. Although I couldn't stand the what were they called? The things that popped up out of the sand. Man, those guys were annoying as hell. What were those things called? They were down here. So is this it? Lurkers. Man, those guys were brutal. So I still would have done it. I'd have wandered around forever out there. So, that was... The enemy design was just awesome. I thought the enemy design was awesome. Boss fights, if you're into boss fights, which anybody that watches my channel knows I don't like boss fights. Even though I don't like boss fights, I thought the boss fights were pretty phenomenal. I mean, because, again, this just goes back to the enemy design. Look at this. This is cool here. Look at that. I mean, that's just cool as hell. Yeah, I don't like boss fights, and they get kind of tedious. I mean, like the last ones, through the final chapter of the game, they had what, 4 boss fights? I mean, crap. Between the unidentified Natiba, which was Raven's thing, I had over an hour fighting it. I fought that for over an hour, and I still think I just lucked out. Same with well, the mechanical guy I finally got, Providence. I think I had him figured out, and Raven I had figured out, but the unidentified guy, that was just brutal. That was tough. But again, that's something I don't enjoy. To me, for me, it takes away from the game. Was awesome. I was having a great time in the game. You know, you're blogging along, and all of a sudden, bam, boss fight. It's like, son of a. It just ruins the immersion for me. But they're playing to what people like, and people love. I mean, I've just read all over the internet, well, how awesome the boss fights were, and that's why they have the boss fight challenge. You can just go in and fight all the bosses as many times as you want, which I don't understand. That I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to go do it again. I'm not just going to go fight the bosses. It's like, holy crap, why would I want to do that again? So that's pretty much all the positive stuff on this game. I mean, there's a lot of good. There's just a lot of good. I have a few negatives. I'll get into those just right now. You know, a few things that I didn't like, and I think could have been done better. But again, that's just me. Platforming and parkour. I don't like platforming because I suck at it. And I think a game like this, you know, I think you pick which direction you want your game to go. You want a platformer, side-scroller, platformer, parkour. You want, you know, Alan Wake, and you know, there's a bunch of other ones like that. They're platforming games. You know, that is the main not the objective, but that is the main mechanic in the game is platform. That's how you get around. You platform, you parkour, you know, and that's fine. But I don't think this game gained anything from that. This game was a great adventure combat game. I mean, it really was. And the storyline, that was another one that I didn't touch on. The story in this game, I thought the story was really good. I mean, I thought it was, and I thought how they defined the story with all of the data banks and the data cards and the books and all that. How if you didn't pick all that stuff up, you missed a lot of the story. And in this game, which I don't normally get in a story that you have to wander around and find all the stuff for, in this game, it just caught my attention. And the more I found it, the more stuff I wanted to find. So the story was really good too. But the platforming and the parkour, I think this game would have just been better off without it. And then some of them, like the most insane, you know, platform, like, you know, sliding through that freaking hyper tube. It's like, come on, seriously. You're sliding through the hyper tube, or the other one where you were sliding through the spinning saw blades. I mean, come on, seriously. That just took away from the momentum of the game for me. I think that was kind of unnecessary stuff. And you know, Eve, another big negative for me. Eve's movements. You know, sometimes she'll jump and she'll make a step. She doesn't do it unless you're on the edge of something. Then she takes that extra step and walks off. Sometimes she'll jump, double jump when you don't want it. See, she took a little extra step like that on a dash. She takes that little extra step and you're gone. It's over. So I think the movements are just way too herky-jerky. You cannot do, when you're doing platforming, for some reason, and I don't know why, I can move nice and slow here. But when you're doing platforming, she doesn't. She moves like real herky-jerky, and she won't stop. She keeps moving. But when you're like right here, you can move nice and slow. But the jumping is just, you don't have a lot of control over the jumping. I think that can be fixed. Maybe it's not supposed to be fixed. I don't know. But I think that it's just kind of weird. and that's a small negative. You know, normal gamers, people that game a lot, would get used to that. And I'm waiting to see. They're gonna port this to PC. I'm waiting to see if the controls are different on a PC. I'm not gonna play it on PC, but people will tell you. There'll be people that'll play it on both PS5 and PC. So it's gonna be interesting when they port this to PC, just to see, because I often hear how the controls on a PC are more stable than the controls on a console. I don't know because I don't play on PC. So a couple of the other little weird things that is just, just miscellaneous stuff. The map, like this don't have a map probably. We don't have a map, which that's fine. It's a lot, But when you are in an area, the desert and the wasteland, they're divided up into areas. Even Matrix 11, there was area, you had no way to know what area you were in. And if that makes sense or not. So you're in the wasteland, and the wasteland is divided up into all these sub areas. There's like all these sub areas in there, but you didn't know because the map didn't tell you. They could have just put a name tag on that part of the map. This is the junkyard. This is something else over here. And to me, that would help out a lot. I think that's an easy fix too, if they want to fix it. I don't know that they will. And the DLC is coming out. I got an update for the free DLC stuff, I guess, for the Nier Automata stuff, skins and that. I haven't looked because the game's over. I'd have to start the game over again to see all that stuff. But yeah, some area identifiers would be nice, so you know where you're at, because you don't know where you're at most of the time. And then sometimes you don't even know where you were supposed to go, which that's okay. But when you're in the middle of a freaking building collapsing, and the little bot here is going run, and you don't know where to run. What the hell? That's just it's a timed event pretty much. If you don't get your ass moving, you die. I can't tell you how many times I died in those 2 collapsible building situations just to get to where I wanted to go. Minor stuff though. That's just minor stuff. That's not a game changer for me. I mean, that does not ruin the game for me. I mean, if I played it again, I'd know what the hell to do. That's just it. If you play it again, you know what you're supposed to do. Now that I've figured it out, and that's like that for a lot of games. This is just probably the toughest games I ever played blind. I mean, that and Bloodborne. I mean, Bloodborne I played blind too, and I'm still blind from that one. But that was just some minor stuff, not a game killer. It doesn't kill the game for me. Another thing I don't like, and there's other games like this. I was trying to think of some of it. Is there's no end game content. I like to be able to go back and just do some more roaming. Go back to the desert. Go back to the wasteland. Just wander around. I think we covered most of the wasteland. The desert, that was a pretty big area that I just didn't cover, and I can't go back there now. Game's over. I'm trying to think of some other games. Cyberpunk 2077 was similar to that. They did what this game did. Like, we went back to the final battle. That's where it's at, right there. You're right there. And Horizon Zero Dawn did this too. Horizon Zero Dawn went back to just before the final battle, but you could roam the world. Cyberpunk was the same way. You could roam around the world. You could go and do anything you wanted to. And I think that's that's what I'm missing here. I ran all the way back to the opening of this. I think it's up there, and you can't get out. It's just locked down. You can't get out of here. You're stuck here. I tried to go back to earlier save. They don't have enough saves. If I could have went back to an earlier save, like before we entered here, before the Raven battle, if I could have went back to that, that would have been fine. But you can't get out of here. You only got like the first save of the game, I think, which was 807. It was one of the first ones. I don't know why I picked that one. There's a weird spot in the beginning of the game that it saved for me. and I was like at level 3 or something. I mean, I just didn't have, not level 3. Well, there's no levels in this game, but the timer said it was like an hour and a half into the game, hour and 15 minutes into the game. So that's the beginning, very beginning. And I was gonna have this conversation over there, but I probably would have got my ass kicked by the T-but just kind of wandering around because I was low level at that point. I mean, I didn't have all my stuff. So endgame, that's a big thing for me. I mean, just for me, for a lot of people. I mean, you want to be able to go back and do stuff in the game. I mean, you know, Witcher 3 was pretty good. And that was the reason I played this game, because I had just played The Witcher 3, which was a hack and slash. You know, that was a very similar, I don't know if it didn't have blocking in there. I can't remember already how that was going. You know, it didn't have the old blocking and parrying and all that. It didn't seem like it did. Can't remember. But I figured since I was already in the third person sword fighting, this would be a good, and I think it did. It helped me a lot going right from The Witcher 3 to this, because of the combat's similar, not identical. It's just vaguely similar. Let's put it that way. It's vaguely similar. Let's see. I think that about covers it. It was kind of funny. Some of the Easter eggs, and I call them Easter. I don't think they really were. Just things that I noticed in this game. And I looked them up, and people didn't even mention them. And maybe it's just because, I don't know, because they're not really Easter eggs. They're just things I noticed. Like, you know, the reference to the Matrix in here, the Matrix movies or comics or whatever they are. You know, you've got Zion, only it's spelled Xion. Your travel by phone. I mean, you know, I think that's pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. You've got Orca instead of Oracle. Oracle was in the Matrix. You had the Oracle, and we got Orca in here. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I thought that was pretty interesting. Then at the end game, you had the mech, which was very similar to Armored Core. It looked like an Armored Core mech, the game Armored Core. I never played Armored Core, but I've seen videos of it because I watch videos of games I sometimes want to play. I did not watch videos of this game because I thought the game was pretty cool. I wanted to play this game and see how it worked. But yeah, Armored Core, it looked that thing looked like something straight out Armored Core. It was pretty cool. And there were a few other things. I guess the little can animation when you find a can, apparently that came from a Nintendo Switch game or something, where they just, every time the protagonist found something cool, he did the little stance like, "Woohoo, look what I found," kind of like she does. And there were other references too. I was trying to think of some of them that I saw as I played the game, but I can't remember what they were. There was quite a few of them that just, to me, reminded me of other video games and stuff. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this game. Great game. I am going to end at that. This was really a great, fun, beautiful game. It really was a really, really beautiful game. Lots of fun. Frustrating at times, but that's just because I suck at playing video games. I mean, if you watch my channel, you'll see there's certain games I'm good at. You know, I'm good at Fallout games. I'm good at Borderlands games. Skyrim, when I get into Skyrim, once I get in a rhythm in Skyrim, I'm pretty good in Skyrim. But Skyrim's so big, you can actually start slow and end up really fast and hard in that game. Some other games. Let's see what some other games that I've played. Those are my games right there. Borderlands and, you know, Skyrim, Fallout. But this game here, this game was beautiful, and I'm a little, you know, I hate the price of games these days is pretty high. This was $70 for this game, which I choked on that. I very rarely buy new games fresh out of the box. This it wasn't even fresh out of the box. This was 3 months old or something like that, 4 months old when I bought it. And I've only paid full price for a couple of games. Borderlands games, naturally Borderlands 3, Borderlands 2. I paid full price for those. I don't think I paid full price for... I might have paid full price for Far Cry 5. Far Cry is another set of games that I like. You know, but I got some stuff on my PS3 too. Horizon Zero Dawn, I did pay full price for that because I was looking forward to that game. I did not hesitate for a second, and that's another one of my favorite series. Horizon series, which I might do Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West and Zero Dawn, I paid full price for both of those. But they weren't $70. These games have just skyrocketed in the last 2 or 3 years. And I mean, with good reason. They're putting a lot of effort into these games. I mean, they're putting a lot of time and a lot of people working on them. You know, so this stuff just gets expensive after a while. Anyway, I think I talked enough. I think we got this. Put this one to bed. The end of this game was crazy. You know, like 4 boss fights in a row, but it kind of signified the end of the game very well. I think it just signified the end of the game very well. So, I appreciate everybody watching, everybody that watched, and anybody that commented. That's awesome. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please subscribe and like my videos. So it's I'd like to get the channel to grow a little bit, but it's just, you know, I don't put a lot of effort into it, so it may not grow at all. It's just, I'm having fun. And I hope everybody that's watching is having fun. So, if you're watching, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See ya.